In this tutorial we're going to take a look at creating property inspections. A property inspection is something we do regularly to make sure that our house is being kept in good condition. It's quite a long tutorial, quite a few things to get through, so we'll get started. The first thing we want to do is we want to set up our property inspection templates. A template is the list of things that we are going to inspect when we arrive at the house. So under here, go to Setup and then choose Inspection Templates. I've got three set up here. One is for an apartment. We've got a house with a garage and a house without a garage. So if we take a look at one of these, if we say house without a garage, this is the list of rooms that are available. As you can see, there's no garage because it's unticked, and there's no basement. If we choose apartment, we'll see that we've also unticked the exterior option, because let's assume that in our apartment there is no exterior, it's above ground, so there's no exterior to worry about. So that's what templates are. You choose which room matches the property. You'll notice that we've only got one bedroom. We haven't got bedroom 1, bedroom 2, bedroom 3, bedroom 4. You actually only need to create one, and when we generate the inspection checklist, we'll automatically generate enough bedrooms based on how many rooms that's got, and the same applies to bathrooms. So now we take a look at inspection rooms. So if we choose inspection rooms over here, these are the rooms here that were inside our template, and for each room we have a series of attributes. So if I choose kitchen, we can see we've got things like dishwasher and stove and kitchen cabinets and the sink. If I choose exterior, we've got the fences and mailbox and decks, things like that. And we can add our own attributes and we can create our own rooms. So this is the way that we design. It's sort of like a room designer. You say what sort of things, what sort of rooms have we got, and what sort of things do we want to inspect in those rooms. And once you've got those rooms defined, then you create your templates which make use of those rooms. Okay, so once we've got all our rooms and templates set up, if we go back to our property details screen, we'll pick one of our properties. Now there's a couple of things on here. First of all, the number of bedrooms and number of bathrooms, we use that when we create our property inspection checklist. So if we say this property has got 3 bedrooms, then when we generate our checklist, we're going to create 3 lots of bedrooms to check. And also down here we can set up our default inspection templates. So here you can see there's these templates that we saw just a few seconds ago, our apartment and our house with garage. Now we might say that this is a house and it's got a garage, so we might say this is the default template we want to use for this property. Once we've set up our properties, we can then go to our inspections themselves. So there's another menu option here called Inspections under Tenants, and this is our inspection schedule. Now push the Load Schedule button, and this loads all of our inspections that we're going to do. Now a timeline can be grouped into days. We can do a week view. There's one inspection down here on the 4th at 4 o'clock. Or we can go to month view, or we can go to a timeline view. And whichever option we choose, we can use these scroll buttons here to move backwards and forwards from one month to the next, or 1 week to the next. I can create a new inspection if I want to do one here, let's say on the 5th at 10 AM. So 10 AM on the 5th. I can just double click down there and it opens a new inspection. Now I can choose which tenant I want to do the inspection with. That automatically picks their property, and I can also choose which template I want to use. So again, we get to select those templates that we created earlier. Now if for this property I had specified what the default template was, it would have automatically filled this in for me. But for this particular property, I must not have set up a template. Also up here, when we log into RentHQ, we can have multiple different logins. So each login is a different person. So if we have multiple people, like multiple property managers, we can specify which manager is going to be doing this particular inspection. And I can save that by choosing OK, and that then adds that into my schedule calendar. If I hover over it, I get this quick view, or if I double click on it again, it opens it back up. Now a couple of other things we can do in here is we can choose to generate an inspection letter, and the letter is actually created using the mail merge facility. I've only got one set up, and if I want to, I can choose for this tenant, for this inspection on the 5th at 10 AM I want to generate a letter, and this is the letter it generates for me. It's just a very simple letter that I've created. It inserts the tenant's name, we've got the date and the time of our inspection, and I've also specified which inspector is going to be doing that inspection. I can print this. I can also email it if this particular tenant had an email address set up, but I'll just close it for now. And if you want to know how to create those letter formats, those letter templates, there's another tutorial on mail merge which will have more information on how to create those letters. Okay, the next thing we want to do is we want to actually do our inspection. So if I edit this inspection again, I can choose down here to record or view the results. This brings up all our rooms. This is based on our template that we chose. You'll see in this case we chose the apartment template, so when we open this up you'll see there's no exterior and there's no garage because the apartment template doesn't have those things. These are just the rooms in that template. You'll also notice that the bedroom has been split out, so this property has got 3 bedrooms and it's only got 1 bathroom. Now what we can do at this point is we can print our checklist, and this is something that we can take with us if we want to do an inspection and to record everything on a piece of paper. So a checklist looks a bit like this. So it lists out all our rooms. We can rank everything from best to worst, so we just put a circle around whether it's a 1 for best or 5 for worst, and we can manually write some comments in here. So that splits out every single room. Also on the checklist, if we expand a room like, let's say, the kitchen, we can see it's only got 1 attribute. Down here we can say we actually want to see attributes of this room. So instead of just having one called Kitchen General, if I choose attributes, it breaks out all the different items. So you can see we've got dishwasher, stove, cabinet, sink, and for each one of those, when I do the inspection, I can actually rank them like this, where green is the best and red over here is the worst. And I can type in some information here, like maybe the stove needs cleaning. I can also choose to do the room and the attributes, in which case we get the kitchen general, this one here in yellow, as well as all of the individual attributes. So we can decide how detailed we want to be. So this is as detailed as you get. You get the room plus all the attributes, or we can do attributes only, or we can do the room only, in which case we only get 1 item for each room. And the same applies to when we print our checklist as well. If I choose to print the checklist with all the attributes, the printed checklist now has all those attributes split out. So once I've printed out my checklist, I can come back here and I can fill in the results. Now there's a couple of different ways that we can record our results. As I said before, we could print the checklist, take it with us, and as we walk through the room just write down on a piece of paper the inspection results. Alternatively, if we have a laptop sort of thing connected to the internet, we can actually walk around the house and use this software and actually record these things as we walk around the house. And the other option we can use is a portable device, like a Windows, like a phone or a tablet computer. There's a separate application that we can run on our tablets or on our phones called the mobile application, and you can record inspection results on that as well. If you're looking to buy a new device to do inspections with, I would recommend getting a tablet that is running the full version of Windows, so like Windows 8 or a newer version of Windows. And that way you can run this full software. You get everything that this software provides you can do. The mobile application that runs on an Android phone or an iPhone doesn't have the same level of capabilities. The other thing I can do with inspections is I can actually add photos. So if we take a look at this one down here, This is one I've created previously, and this one I've actually added a photo. So if we go to attachments, you can see here is a photo that I have previously loaded up, and if I click on that, you can see it's a photo of some rubbish. So I can load photos into there, and if I'm using the mobile application, I can actually take, or depending on which version of the mobile application, I can take photos and have them automatically loaded up to this inspection. The other thing about adding photos is when I print the results, it automatically adds the photos to the end. So you got all this information here, plus your photos. And this will be useful for handing to your tenants to give them a list of all their results. The other thing about inspections is that if your tenants and your landlords are logging in via the internet, they can also view the results online via your RentHQ login. One last thing to take a note of: if we go to a tenant and we choose one of our tenants, we can actually specify an inspection frequency. Like this one here, I've got set up to do an inspection every 1 week, which is a bit fast. Normally maybe every 3 months or every 1 month. So you can specify what your inspection frequency is. And that means that when one inspection is completed, the inspection schedule would automatically create another inspection in the future. Like in this case, the way I've got it set up now, it'll automatically generate another inspection for me 1 month in advance. I can of course go into the inspection schedule and adjust that if I want to. For example, maybe the inspection occurs on a Sunday and I don't want to do an inspection on a Sunday. I can shift it to another day if I need to. So that's property inspections. We've covered quite a lot. Hopefully now you know how to do property inspections.